IAYT University in Bangalore, and she has been the chief yoga therapist who has been working. She's a medical doctor from FRCS in London, and then since then she never she took up her profession, but then quickly resigned from a prestigious Bangalore hospital, and then since then she's been in Prashanti offering her services as seva in Prashanti for close to 40 years, I should say. And she and Dr. And Raghuramji both have been um, doing seva. We call them divine couple. And Guruji, Dr. Nagendra, is her brother. So the whole family is involved in offering yoga as service. And it's a rich yoga university with over 500 research papers. And Didi is also a recipient of many awards, including American Diabetes Association Award, which she received last year. And she has been the leader of who leads Stop Diabetes movement as well. So among many other things that she does. So with that quick introduction, and of course she's a research guide as well, who has led many research papers. And so with that quick introduction, I'll ask Didi to talk. Over to you, Didi.
Okay. Namaste to all of you. Begin with Om. Let us chant Om 3 times as a prayer. Om.
We can.
With health problems, I hope all our efforts will help them to recover very soon. And on behalf of Yasvasa team here at Prashanti, I wish all of you very safe and strong immune system to cope up with all that you have to face as an emotional challenge, physical challenge, mental challenge. Am I audible?
Yeah, Devi, we can hear you.
And you can see the PPT also.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a great unexpected challenge that we are all facing, and all that we are seeing through social media, TV, etc. I'm not going to go into all those. Let us see the positive side of the whole thing as to how we can strengthen the immune system, prevent the disease from entering the body, and what is the yogic conceptual basis of handling this condition. With, we have always been talking about non-communicable diseases, which was the major challenge, major areas where we have been working also for several years, including asthma, diabetes, hypertension, cancer, etc. But here is a big challenge which has suddenly changed our attention and shift from NCDs to communicable disease, which is really capturing the whole world. In fact, we were just listening to some of our Ayurveda friends. I'm sure you also, all of you would have seen the PPTs and social media from announcements which have been circulated, which gives the data that every 100 years there is something very big as a pandemic that has captured the world. And 2020 has been a really rough period. And we are all here to see how we take this challenge and work on that. Let me begin with a few examples of cases who have already used yoga even when they were in deathbed due to corona, and then work on that. This is the example of Dr. Giorgio Nero from Italy, Milano, a big cardiac surgeon who used to work for the country. He was very much involved in national also, and serving the COVID warriors. As a COVID warrior, he picked up the infection himself. And look at that last line where he says 120 Italian doctors died in this period in Italy, and he was one amongst them who escaped. And he says, I dedicate my life. In fact, there were emails which were coming in between where he would say that I am learning through yoga how to die gracefully. This was such a touching statement which put us all into great dismay. And thank goodness that he came out of it. And these are all some of the statements that he has been sending through emails. And now he is into research by using yoga modules. As early as 15th March, we had not yet prepared our videos. I just sent him a 3-minute video telling him you should do 1 minute Kapalbhati, 1 minute Nadi Shuddhi, 1 minute MSRT. We just recorded in an emergency and sent it off as soon as we heard that he's in the hospital. And of course, being in the hospital with respiratory distress, he wrote back asking, can I make some necessary changes because I may not be able to do all that you want me to do in this 3 minutes video. We said, of course, please go ahead. He contacted local yoga teachers, etc. And then he went on doing that, and look at the way he says, every breath after breath, as a surgical science, all my surgical knowledge was not helping me at all. And only yoga gave me that light and courage to cope up with the situation. And I dedicate to India for getting back my life, he says. So similar reports are coming from some of our friends from London. On Dr. Neeraj Patil, who established that Basava statue in London. Some of you may be familiar, I'm sure Anil and Ashwini know about them. He was very active. He was an ex-mayor of London. So he went on treating large number of actively involved in treating politicians who were getting affected COVID. And he got the infection and he was in the hospital. Very interestingly, he went on doing his Shiva Dhyana, Shiva Japa. Although he never looked before as a very great devotee or anything, this situation really pushed him into looking into the divine blessings. And his experience he shared, which was very interesting. He says it was when he did Makarasana, he was feeling much, much better. And every breath he was Antarkumbhaka. And with that Antarkumbhaka, he was able to avoid going on to intubation and ARDS, etc. So mind management is so very important. Another big family from Canada got affected, and in fact they were again from the yoga community. The masters, the Swami who was the leader of the yoga group there, was continuously online helping Sunita, who was hospitalized, and the family were quarantined in their home. She was in the hospital with respiratory distress, and again she says, and it was continuous support, continuous breathing, continuous practices that helped me to come out of the deathbed. Another example from France, one of our yoga instructor course student, in March she was undergoing our yoga instructor course here, and she gets a phone call that her father is hospitalized in France with COVID. She rushes back and sees her father in extreme stage, almost stage 4, where he was almost in the deathbed, total confusion. And she continuously helps him to come out of that and he recovers. So these are examples which should help us to understand how and why yoga can be of great help in these cases. And as all of us know, it is our immune system which is the major support system which is there right inside our body. And we have two major defenses in the immune system. which are already in action. One is the cellular fighters, the T cells, which swallow the germ and पीछे पीछे आ रहे हैं आगे जा रहा है पीछे नहीं जा रहा do this right click do this once more These are the white blood cells, which we call as NK cells, which are also the cellular fighters which are involved in cancer management. And these cells are in large number. What you need to tell your participants in case you happen to give yoga program to the really sick people is there are maybe a million COVID viruses in your body, but your body has got these white blood cell cellular fighters which are in billion number. So it's not that our immune system does not have the capacity to fight away the germ. How it does is, it actually gobbles up the virus and it takes it into its body and pours in a lot of chemicals inside the cell to destroy itself along with the virus, and that has to be thrown out. This is the cellular fighter, and then the other fighter that is also very important is the liquid fighter or the chemical fighters or the antibodies which lock up the virus. If there are a large number of tentacles around the corona, look at the antibodies which just go and adhere to that, stick to that chemically, and they make it locked up and make it non-functional. So this is our immune system which is well set into the system, and so this is how the antibodies attach to the antigens on the corona surface and get destroyed, get damage the virus and throw it up to the body. But what is very important for all of us to know is it is all controlled by our mind, our nervous system, what we call as psychoneuroimmunology. In psychoneuroimmunology, what is happening is the virus is entering the body, maybe through the respiratory system, penetrates through the air passage, into or the nasal passage into the blood cells, and inside the blood there are what are called as macrophages which gobble the virus, take it to the campsite. Their job is not directly to fight the germ. In few seconds, few minutes, they have already reached the B cell or the T cell camp officer who has to now make a major discrimination, major decision making. Is it a foreign material that is entering the body? Is it a friendly foreign material? Is it a dangerous foreign material that is entering the body? Is to be recognized, and then once it is recognized, wow, this is very dangerous fellow. I am not familiar with this. My body was not prepared for that. It immediately recruits large number of fighter cells through innate immunity, which is already ready to fight any general damage that may enter into the body, and then starts preparing specific antibodies in the B cell, specific B cells from the cellular fighters, and brings it to the surface, bring it to the respiratory system, and fights. So this is the real camp officer who has to make the decision whether it's dangerous. The radar is bringing the information, but it is the camp officer or the border security officer, the who has to make the decision. Recruit the right type of cells, recruit the right type of antibody, manufacture the right type of antibody. In fact, that is the reason why this lockdown is so very important, because the whole community is getting exposed to the virus, and small number of viruses entering the body. They have 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks for the body to recognize this foreign body and start manufacturing the antibody and protect our body from any other bigger onslaught. So that's why this social distancing has helped the countries to really help the body to manufacture. It is time for the body to fight away the manufacture the right type of specific antibodies. What is in fact, I was just told, I was reading that in London, one of our friends, the husband is a doctor, wife is also a doctor. The husband is not asked to go to the hospital to work for corona patients, but the wife has been requested to become the frontline warrior. Why? Because they tested her blood and said, hey, your body has got enough antibodies, therefore you are the right type of person who will be able to face the drama. And so you be the frontline officer. Of course, they take all other precautions. So the body needs to get time, and that is the great advantage of this social distancing, which has helped to develop this herd immunity, as we call it. The innate immunity, innate suspicion antibody is being developed. What is important for you and me as yoga practitioners to know is all this is totally under the control of our mind. It is the nervous system, the brain, which sends large number of chemical messengers. As soon as an information comes to the B cell or the T cell, the information is also passed on to the brain. It's not that it is waiting for information. Everything happens like a quantum instantaneously, quantum phenomenon. So brain knows, hey, there is something happening, and starts protecting and giving the right type of messengers, right type of chemicals to promote the fighting to happen. But what is very important to know is, so mind, the manomaya kosha, through the nervous system, can work on the immune system and help the immune system to carry on its job very effectively. But the same thing can become a big problem when there is stress. When there is stress, ulta ho jata hai. The entire nervous system start releasing abnormal chemicals which activate overreaction. And you might have read in your pathophysiology of corona what happens in the lung is, it is our own cytokines, our own chemicals which are released in abnormal quantities which damage the respiratory system and kills the person. So right quantity of immune system, right degree of immune stimulation is very, very important, and that is stressed out. So we just published a paper on International Journal of Yoga and Cognitive Index Journal in the, just last week, in which we are able to compile all the research that has been done on yoga, which is relevant to this immune stamina. Large amount of data is already there on NCDs, as all of you know. But is there any evidence on the effect of yoga in communicable diseases? This is what we have compiled in that paper, where there are large number of data already available that in influenza, there are papers which are published that will recover faster and do not go on to respiratory distress. And there are data on tuberculosis. A study that we conducted 10 years back, where we went to a sanatorium and picked up 2 groups of people. One group, all of them were of the same degree of damage, same degree of the infection, and one group received yoga, one group did not receive yoga, but both of them got the medication. And we were able to show that it was basically the group who did yoga became sputum negative for the bacteria within 1 week as compared to the other group which took 3 weeks to get out of the sanatorium. HIV is a very similar virus, as many of you must be reading. When we started seeing corona infection, we were using ART, the drug which is being used for HIV infection itself. Even now, severe cases, people are using antiviral agent to kill the virus. So we have shown that HIV infection patients, the viral load decreased in patients. We have two PhDs on HIV where we had used yoga and viral load decreased and CD4. These are the cellular fighters which kill the virus had increased. And there are some other studies where even acute respiratory infection, meditation helps them. Thus, we know that immune system becomes efficient, neither too much or too less, neither hypoactivity nor hyperactivity. Is the balancing effect, Samatvam Yoga we talk about, is it not? So that is what is the all of the story of how yoga can be effective through this therapy. Another very interesting study which Dr. Ashwini and her friend sent me this paper also is that humming can improve the antioxidant production in the nasal sinuses. You are all very familiar with sinusitis, frontal sinusitis, maxillary sinusitis, ethmoid sinusitis, etc. These are all mere spaces around the nose, which makes it is something like the drum of the tambura, where it gives the resonance, it gives the quality to the music that comes out of Veena or Mridanga, Amana or the Tanpur. So these sinuses not only give quality to the voice, but they also have many other functions of protection against dangerous substances by releasing or manufacturing antioxidant material called nitric acid. And this was a study where humming, Brahmari, like humming program, had increased the nitric oxide production much more than the other group. So that is how we now have evidence to say that yoga can be of great help managing the root cause of the problem by improving the body's ability to handle the dangerous substance that may enter the body. And that is what we are seeing, where in the Manomaya Kosha, if you get into this fear, which is the big thing that is catching the whole world today about the problem of corona. Not only the fear of catching the infection, fear of losing our kith and kin, fear of financial problem, future of our education, so many things, financial crisis, economic crisis, what not. And the media is encouraging that by creating more anxiety rather than helping us to cool down and calm down. So that's fear psychosis. If you are a very sensitive person, sharp person, intelligent person, then we tend to have more anxiety because your brain is too intelligent. It will pick up a lot more ideas than a person who is not that intelligent. Okay, the government has said that you have to be in lockdown and they say that you will take care of their food accommodation, etc. Don't fear, we are here to take care if the government is saying. Simple person will accept. But if you are a very sharp person, very intelligent person, very much into enormous analytical faculty, we apply it to this emotion also. Emotion of fear, anger, tension, worry, depression, and start thinking of the future, the past, the present, and get involved. ये totally pati prasava ho jata hai. You get drawn into that emotion, and when this happens, the the emotion activates the limbic cord. If you have to do a lot of thinking, you need a medium. You want Annamaya Kosha. What is Annamaya Kosha of the body which is used for the Manomaya Kosha to do its job is the brain. So in the brain there is a particular part of the brain called limbic cortex, the emotional area, which is the one which really releases large number of electrical activities because of work, and that activates the entire nervous system. entire system, as it happens too many demanding situations, and therefore we have end up with problem where we cannot return to normalcy, and that is what is causing the all of the imbalance that we are seeing as a stress phenomenon. And in this context, very clearly we know that it is the HPA axis, hypothalamo pituitary adrenal axis, which disturbs the whole immune system and creates problem. And this is the medical part of it that we want you to understand. Now, until now, medical science has lot more information. You can Google it. I'm sure you have read more than what I'm saying. There is so much more information about how the nervous system influences the immune system, psychoneuroimmunology, what is T cell, what is B cell, what is cytokine, what is cytokine storm, what is ERDS, all these you are reading. So the whole process that the mind, nervous system, immune system are very, very important has been very clearly delineated by medical science, even in the context of the communicable disease. But what is very important for us to know is what do I do with that? If my body, my own mind, my own nervous system is taking me to the deathbed, instead of helping myself to clear myself and come out of the damage, what is it that you should do? This is where we have to go down to our great masters and rishis to understand the whole phenomenon of the Panchakosha Viveka and the definition of stress, which is given by great masters like Vasishtha, Patanjali, Krishna, etc., where we know that where is the actual damage that is going on? It is the respiratory system. It is the whole of the respiratory system where there is a lot of fighting that has to happen. So as soon as I sense danger, which is entering through the nose and the throat, and immediately the body recognizes and so much chemical fighters. So we need a lot more activity in this area. To carry on a lot more activity in this area, we need a lot more prana. So whenever there is an infection, inflammation, a fighting, body needs a lot more prana in that area. So we draw a lot more prana. So this excessive prana has to be now brought to this area of the Annamaya Kosha. Therefore, Pranamaya Kosha activity has increased, and this increased Pranamaya Kosha activity is good enough, right quantity, fighting happens, body recovers. But when this is happening, the body also suffers from other problems. What? Very tiredness, exhaustion, energy is not there, appetite is not there. Why? Because we want to focus everything is in this area. If you had a good appetite, you would still be eating junk food. If you still had food energy, prana in the limbs, then you would still be running and walking around. The body says, sorry, I want all my energy, all my activity, prana in this area. So let me use that. You, my dear muscles, you keep quiet. I won't allow you to move. Digestive system, you keep quiet. I can only digest simple things. Don't make me force me to non-veg, etc. So in fact, I am reminded this Sunita and her family from Canada, when she was reporting, she says that all our family lived on only khichdi for 1 full month and they have recovered. So digestive system has to be taken care of, musculoskeletal system has to be given rest so that the entire fighting can happen only in this area. But now, what is happening to this Manomaya Kosha? When we are stressed, oh, what's going to happen, what's going to happen, anxiety. So now brain wants to do a lot more work. For that you are drawing all the prana to the head region. So too much of brain work, too much of speed, too much of violence. So this prana which had to only focus in this area is now much more prana all drawn to the head region. So there is less activity, less capacity, the whole thing becomes haywire, completely damaging the system. And what the sage wants us to understand is this stress is nothing but excessive activity in the brain area. And when that excessive activity is happening, there is too much of speed there. So therefore, if I have to allow my system to recover soon, you send right quantity of prana, right number of white blood cells, right amount of antibodies, right amount of cytokines, so that you neither do overwork nor underwork, or that the whole system has to be in great balance. And to produce that balance, what is interfering is thinking. So uncontrolled, speeded up, rewinding of sentences in the mind, we lose control over that, and that is where all the problem starts. So even here, we see that it is the stress, which is nothing but the negative emotions. In this context, it is all enormous fear, frustration. And so when we are having to face big friend, death friend, it's not easy to accept the whole thing. And therefore, we have to move on to understand how we have to handle this problem. As all of you are very familiar with your yoga training program, according to yoga, we divide all diseases under Adhija Vyadhi and Anadhija Vyadhi. Adhijanya Vyadhi and non-Adhijanya Vyadhi. Adhijanya means that it is born out of internal imbalance, not due to external factors. Anadhija Vyadhis are those which are not stress born, and therefore Anadhija Vyadhis are all because of external factors. So external factors could be infection, injury, toxins, where the cause is outside, and the remedy also could come from outside. This is exactly what medical science thinks. Okay, germ has come from outside, so you give an antiviral agent. Maybe that's why hydroxychloroquine has become so very popular, which is expected to go and kill the number of viruses. Or to find out another antiviral agent, which is on the which is on research. And today we say that we have an antiviral agent. That's why we cannot cure this condition. That's why people have to die of this disease. Is what we understood. But in the next understanding, the same medical science also has understood that the problem is not as simple as that. The problem, look at the health triangle. The health triangle says that the viral count is only one corner of the. The problem is the viral count is only one corner of the triangle. So, but there are two other corners for maintaining balance and health. That is the body's capacity to keep the immune system strong and keep the environmental tolerance. Tolerance to environment. What do we say in the definition of yoga? That we say that it is samatvam yoga. Shita ushna sukha dukkeshu samaha. So to tolerate external environmental changes and to keep our internal system to be healthy, both external environment and the internal environment, we have to maintain that stability is what is very, very important. So, sides of the triangle you can manage through yoga. Keep your immune system strong, keep the ability to stabilize your nervous system, so that yoga has got a two-thirds job to do more than even the antiviral drug. So this is where you have a very important role to play as a yoga teacher to keep the system healthy and strong. So now, therefore, where do we go from here? We understand that the whole thing has to really take the man to that original deep understanding of how to handle the mind. In fact, we begin with the understanding of the definition of yoga itself. What is the definition of yoga? What is the word yoga? Word yoga says Yujyate anena iti yoga. What does that mean? Union of the individual limited I-ness or minus with the expanded universal consciousness, or what we are talking about global family has to happen in your experience. So through this, I want you to understand this first definition of yoga as through this example. A salt doll wanted to measure the depth of the ocean. Salt doll has its Anamaya Kosha, it has got its Pranamaya Kosha, it has got its, you and I are all salt dolls. Suddenly we thought, hey, the ocean also has got salt. Let me see how big this salt ocean is. So it jumped into the ocean. This is what you are all doing as a yoga instructor, trying to understand what is the depth of the knowledge that yogis can give us. Who am I? Is the question with which you have started to come to yoga classes. So who am I? What am I made of? The salt dog wanted to measure the depth of the ocean, jumped into the ocean. What is the culmination? It became the ocean that expanded awareness. This is yoga. What is yoga? Totally, I dissolve myself 100% in the expansion of the universal consciousness, which you may call as God, which you may call as divinity, which you may call as universal consciousness, which you may call as nature. So I am a piece of this nature. Entire universe is a piece of is nature. So I identify myself to become one with the nature is what is the definition of yoga or meaning of the word yoga. So a person who experiences this, who lives in that state, what is his state, what is his mind, he becomes Sachidananda Rupa Shivoham. Shivoham exclaims, Ye Aham Anandam Aham Anandam Anandat Eva Kalvimani Bhutani Jayante. How, how, my God, we are all made of the same Ananda, we are all made of the same consciousness, we are all made of the same Ananda. It's so wonderful, it's so great, so blissful. Goes on exclaiming, 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 10 to the power of 12 times Ananda. I am getting much more than what a king can get in the whole universe. Is the exclamation of a yogi who just becomes the ocean as a salt dog. And that is what is beautifully exclaimed by the sage as quoted in Bhagavad Gita. Akletyoyamadahyyoyam akletyo shoshayeva nityah sthano achaloyam sanatanaha. I am that universal principle. Nothing can me. This is the knowledge which helps us to take ourselves out of this fear. In fact, to overcome the fear of death is the treatment, whether it is an acute respiratory infection like COVID or acute respiratory infection, acute problem like in cancer. I am reminded of a cancer patient who said he was an Australian who developed cancer of the bone and he had come to India, and he says when he was suffering with a lot of pain in his leg because of the bone cancer, it suddenly flashed to me that although doctors have declared that I may not survive, I am not going to die of this because I had heard in Rishikesh one great master telling me when I had gone to India that I am this, I am being imperishable, I am immortal. And he also says, hey, It is my body which is having the pain. Why should I suffer? I am that imperishable Atman. Why should I suffer? Why should I suffer? Body has got pain, it's a nervous impulse. And just getting out of this fear of death completely helped him to cure his advanced cancer, is what he says. So, the same concept is the fundamental concept. I know it is not very easy for a person who has never been exposed to yoga, who becomes a sick person, acutely distressed, to catch hold of this concept. But as a yoga teacher, if you can somehow push this area while you are teaching breathing practice, while you are teaching an asana, while you are teaching calmness, while you are teaching, simply you tell them, say you are suffering so much, sir. Think of for at least half an hour you got good sleep. What were you when you were sleeping? Were you distressed? Were you in trouble? What happened to you? But you existed, no. You were not dead, no, in your sleep. Just stay in that state. Stay in that sleep like state even when you are awake. This is the state of Anandamaya Kosha. This is the healer within. This is the deep rest within, which is going to make all the difference. And work on that. So ये सभी बोलना आसान है. Okay, and nobody when he is acutely distressed will be ready to listen to all this philosophy of life. You can definitely use all this when we are working with chronic disease people. But what do I do with an acutely sick person? We have to take them to the state of emotional stability, emotional calmness. For that, the best way is do this, do techniques of yoga. The state of yoga was immortality. I am not going to perish. I am not going to be destroyed. To reach that state, we need techniques. So the techniques definition is these three definitions. You're all yoga instructor, student. You will have a big exam now. After these courses are over, in your YAC, the first question that they will be asking you is, what are the three definitions of yoga? So remember, MMM, MST, STM. MMM, MST, STM. The three definitions, very simple way to remember. MMM is Patanjali, MST is Vasishta, STM is Krishna. What is MMM? MMM is mastery of the monkey mind, mastery over the modifications of the mind. And what is Patanjali? And how do we reach this mastery? In this context, we have to become totally zero fear. A fear welcome, fear bye bye is what you should be able to do even when you are in bed or when you are in quarantine or when you are in lockdown. What should you say? Fear, welcome, bye bye. Fear, bye bye, fear, bye bye. This is real mastery. To reach this mastery, how do I do it? What is the technique for that? Technique is simply to understand that mind is stuck in that speed and reduce the speed. So what is happening in the mind? My God, kya hoga, kya hoga, kya hoga, kya hoga, kya hoga, what's going to happen, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. So what Vasishta is telling us is, all that you need to do is, kya hoga should become, kya hoga, kya hoga, kya hoga, kya hoga, kuch nahi hoga. This is MST. Mind slowing down trick is yoga. Vasishta's definition of yoga. And through that, where are you going to reach? Samatvam, balance, Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha, Labha, Nashta, Mana, Apamana, Yostalya. No situation can upset you. Even this body dropping down in front of me is not going to disturb my presence of mind, my equanimity of mind, my confidence, my courage, my fearlessness to heal myself. Not even a single thought of hopelessness or fear of extinction should touch me is the whole of the concept that we have to work on. and move on. So therefore, what is the whole understanding? Entire story of what we understood is mind, stress, nervous system, wrong chemicals, immune system disturbed, a big abnormality in the immune capacity, so the whole system collapses and the patient is pushed into IRDS, which ends up with death. So what is it that you have to do? Work at the top level, mind level, where you give total switch off the mind, silence the mind, relax the mind, give deep rest to each and every cell in the body to heal itself, repair itself. Therefore, all these are the techniques. What we have done is we have developed, in fact, even Yoga Bharati has started doing this right from the day one. And that's how we are all very busy preparing large number of videos and helping people. And for this, we have prepared techniques for people who are as inpatients, who are really sick. 1 minute relaxation, 10 minutes relaxation, 15 minutes relaxation, resonance relaxation through Kara, Karam, Kara, Kara. These are all modules, 5 modules we have prepared to be passed on online to the people while they are in patients with sickness. But 90% of them are outside in quarantines or lockdown state where this fear and stress is catching up with them. So for them, the whole lifestyle has to change, starting from diet, cleansing technique. Many of you have heard that Niti is very useful in prevention because it washes away the coronavirus that may be entering through the nose. And immediately after Neti, do a good amount of Brahmali, which will activate the antioxidants also. So Neti also to prevent even for people who are not suffering with illness but in quarantine because of suspected positivity or positive corona is what is the next major group with which you are all going to be working. For them, you have to first start with diet, cleansing techniques, good amount of asanas because now they are locked in, their physical activity is reduced. So we have prepared 3 different modules for children below 15 years, 16 to 60 years, and above 60 years, so that you can give them simpler versions as they become older, and for children give them little more dynamic. First Surya Namaskaras followed by Surya Namaskar. Slow Surya Namaskara can also be given to children and make them enjoy lots and lots of different types of breathing. Breathe like a rabbit, breathe like a cat, breathe like a dog, so that it makes it like Krita Yoga with lot of breathing techniques and lots and lots of chanting. So what we have done is to prepare about 15 minutes module for people who are for prevention of the infection, repeated twice a day. We have also prepared a questionnaire to find out how they are coping with the situation for people who are in lockdown, people who are in quarantine. And these questionnaires I can pass it on to you. If you can fill up for all the contacts that you have online, we would have a big database of coping strategies of people during the lockdown. So relaxation is the remedy, slowing down is the technique, which makes our cells do their job more effectively. Yoga karma supaushadam. Your work becomes more efficient because you are wasting much less energy, wasting much less prana. You are using all your energy in the right quantity, in the right place, with enough rest in between. So switch on where required, switch off where not required. This is the special skill, and the skill in action is not just efficiency at the physical level that Krishna is talking about. He is always talking about efficiency at the mind level. So mind level क्या करना चाहिए? Keep the mind totally in silence. So many of you know Kannada. In Kannada, our PVT says ಎರಡು ಕೋಣೆಗಳ ನೀ ಮಾಡು ಮನದಾಲಯದಿ. Make two compartments in your mind. ಹೊರ ಕೋಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಗರಾಟಗಳ ನಾಡು. Go on working in the outer compartment. ವಿರಮಿಸು ಒಬ್ಬನೇ ಮೌನದೋಳ್ ಒಳಮನೆಯ ಶಾಂತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. Now we are all very busy working. This is what I request yoga teachers to do. You are getting stressed out working too much because we are so much intensely feeling for your participant. You want to do this, you want to do this, you want to do this, you want to do this. I want to help with total commitment, with total empathy, total compassion. This is what is draining out your energies. This is where Krishna is necessary for all of you. Where he says, you are working, but it is only in the Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanmaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Annamaya Kosha. But you are that. I am that Anandamaya Kosha. वर्क चल रहा है, मैं वहां बैठ गया हूँ. Inner space, outer work. This is the whole of the concept with which we have to work to help ourselves to move on. So, to put the whole thing, we have all heard this. In Annamaya Kosha, change the diet is very important. Keeping the bowel clear is very important. Give sleep special technique. Give them this MSRT which you have prepared. To put it on at night and keep on listening to MSRT and observe the breath and keep on sleeping. Sleep very healthily in the right way. Healthy, timely, homemade, vegetarian, moderate spices, all that you are hearing about what drinks to take, kashayams, etc. And cleansing techniques, asanas, pranayama, and meditative techniques during relaxation to achieve better relaxation and mastery. So summary is yum through MST to reach Samatva, and that is the mantra that you are all going to continuously experience for yourself and give it to the participants when you go through. So let me stop here and take some questions if you have any.
Please unmute and ask questions. Thank you, Didi. That was very good talk, and a lot to learn no matter how many times we listen to you. This was amazing. Anybody?
I was thinking of thinking it's so long. What is there for me to talk?
No. You'll be surprised. It was very nice to know some of the stories, and of course, the way you put the MMM, MST. Very nice. Any questions, please?
Yeah. Namaste, Didi. This is Venki. You had something called the health triangle. And at the bottom, you had environmental and one more. How does yoga help the environmental piece? Can you explain?
Environmental tolerance.
Okay.
Environmental changes. You know, you see many pictures in Himalayas. You are a what do you call that Himalaya climber, and next to you is a Himalayan master. What is his dress and what is your dress?
Okay.
All the water and the oxygen behind your back, but next to you walking is a unclad master. What is it? What has it developed? He developed environmental tolerance. He has developed capacity to tolerate any amount of cold weather, any amount of heat weather. And the same man comes to Delhi and sits in 50-degree temperature, no problem for it. He doesn't need AC. What is it that the body adaptability to be able to adjust to any change that happens is the adaptability that the people develop once you go into deeper and deeper. But don't try doing that tomorrow when you go to Himalayan. Please, because it takes training, it needs stability, and it needs this one. We see that to make it very personal, we see it in Nagendraji. When he comes to America in winter, he never wears sweater. He walks around with one t-shirt, one shirt only. Over a period of time with sadhana, people develop that environmental tolerance. That is very necessary now in the corona period, because you have heard that corona is very dangerous in winter months. So if you are a yoga master, yoga teacher, you will be able to tolerate even that. Yeah, next question.
Thank you.
She says, yeah, thank you very much, Didi. No matter how many times we listen to you, we learn a lot. Anybody else with specific questions? Unmute and ask.
So Ashwini and Anil said,
Sorry, Didi, you said something we missed.
Ashwini and Savita says, I answered all your questions.
Yeah, we definitely can ask questions. We are giving priority to others.
No, their questions you have already clarified.
Oh yeah. I mean, just can you also tell us what's the difference between, like, I went through some of the videos you have prepared for children. I think I saw a lot of Kapalabhati and everything also put there. Like, it didn't seem like children's video. Do you have younger children and older children's video? You seem to have mentioned here. So why
Yes.
Kapalabhati for children? That was another.
Because it's vigorous, the children can be permitted. If you give it to adults, you don't know whether they will have any other association. So we cannot have any vigorous practices to the adults and the IAYT.
I see.
The children need a lot of vigorous practices to calm down their mind.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. We usually do.
Namaste.
Yeah.
Namaste, Didi. This is Sarika. I just had a question on the slide that you had STM. So can you please elaborate a little bit more on that? So there's MMM, there's STM, then there's MST. So I just want to understand more about STM.
I'm very familiar with these. I just put it in English abbreviations, that's all. Mastery over the monkey mind or mastery over the modifications of the mind is Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Who is the master? Patanjali. And how do you do that? Through slowing down trick. Mind slowing down trick is yoga, which is the translation for Manaha Prashamana Upayaha by Vasishtha. And through this slowing down trick, you become a master and reach a state for reaching a state of balance, equanimity, samatvam. Siddhya siddhyoho samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. By becoming not disturbed by the ups and downs of life, profit and gain in life, you reach a state of balance, equanimity under all circumstances, are the three immediate definitions of yoga, which you should be able to memorize for your exams also.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, nice seeing all of you. So I think we're doing more and more only on online for the next 1 year.
Thank you, Didi. That was phenomenal, and thank you for your time. We'll definitely be publishing this. We have recorded it, and those who have missed will be listening to it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you, Didi. Namaste. Bye.
Thank you.
बड़ा बड़ा क्यों ऐसा है? Big letters.